Welcome back to the lecture series on Introduction to AWS. As part of this session, we will be discussing on one of the practical number 9, which is based on how to migrate a website from our local server to cloud. So, what we are going to focus in this is while a developer is going to develop an application such as front end and back end, where he is been developing an application in React and he basically uses a MERN stack. Using MERN, he has developed an application in which he has two modules, one is front end module and the other one is back end module. Once he has developed his code, he has pushed his code onto GitHub. On GitHub, we do have two repositories, one is front end repository and the other one is back end repository. These we are going to clone into our EC2 instance, such as front end repository and back end repository. And when we are cloning this, what we are going to do is we will be injecting a file named Docker, which has 6 attributes that we are going to see. And once these repositories are going to be cloned, we will be injecting .env file. These are the two files which we are going to inject. One is .env file and the other one is Docker file. And to make it accessible from customers, these front end and back end, what we are going to do is we will be converting these folders or project code into Docker images. One is called as RG client, the other one is called as RG server. In RG server, our backend code will be converted, whereas in RG client, our front end code will be converted. And to make it accessible, we will run this Docker image in a container. Once it is running in a Docker environment, these applications, they can be accessible for the clients, all the clients, whoever wants to access our application. This is what the entire structure is, where developer is developing some code, he will be pushing into GitHub. From GitHub, we will be cloning onto our EC2 instance. In EC2 instance, we will be installing our Docker. In the Docker, we will be converting the projects into images, and in the Docker containers, we will be running the applications. This is how a local application or else application running on a local server is being deployed or migrated into a cloud environment. So, let us have an hands-on session on this particular entity, how to migrate a website from local server to cloud. Here we are in our cloud AWS environment, where the first thing is you need to search for an EC2 instance. Just click on EC2 instance, and for this I will be using this particular document, where I will just enhance the font size. Okay. Right. First we will launch an EC2 instance, then we will connect to our EC2 instance, then we will clone our Git repos from GitHub. For that we will be using these links. So, let us launch an instance. I am naming this instance as Docker demo, selecting the operating system as Ubuntu, enhancing my T2 micro instance type to T2 large, creating a key pair. I am naming it as same Docker demo, create my key pair. In network settings, I will modify VPC subnet, okay, auto assign public IP, I will make sure that it is enabled, and add security groups. In add security groups, I will be allowing all the traffic from any source. These are the changes, and I am enhancing my storage to 30 GB of capacity, and now click on launch the instance. Once the instance has launched, just wait until it turns into running state. Our image is Docker demo. It is still in pending state. Once the instance state gets into running, click on connect. Under SSH, I will be copying the link to get connected to my EC2 instance, opening my command prompt, enhancing the font size, redirecting to downloads, because my PEM key has got downloaded under downloads, this docker.pem. Yes, I want to continue connecting. Now my EC2 instance got connected. If you can see, Ubuntu at certain IP address. Now the first thing what I will be doing is, I will be cloning my backend repo from GitHub. So in order to clone it, I need to use the command git clone. Git clone the URL of your GitHub repo. Once this has been done, then I will be cloning my front end from GitHub. Now you could see that your Real Grande backend as well as Real Grande front end has got downloaded. Now one thing, before installing of Docker, you need to update your Ubuntu, because as Ubuntu is an open source operating system, it's keep on updating its libraries and packages. So to be updated, we need to update our operating system. Once it gets updated, now it's time to install your Docker. Sudo apt-y install docker.io. This is a command used to install your Docker on your EC2 instance. Once Docker has been installed, just cross verify whether Docker has been properly installed or not. How to cross verify it? Sudo docker version. If you could see this client and server, then it itself indicates that Docker has installed properly. Just check whether you do have any images in your Docker or not. No, I don't have any images. So the first thing is to get into your backend directory, and in backend you need to inject a .env file. So I am just creating an .env file over here, and do remember you need to change your public IP address over here. So, I will get into my EC2 instance to retrieve my public IP. So, my instance is Docker demo, selecting it, you can see here public IPv4 address. So, I need to copy this, copying my public IPv4 address, pasting it over here. The same thing I will be changing it in my backend URL also, because both will be running on an instance which is located at this public IP address. Just copy the MongoDB URL and username and password of your database, and your front end is running on this particular IP address. Control X, hit Y, enter to save and quit. So, I was talking about the Docker file. Just cat the Docker file, it is already present in your Real Grande backend as well as front end. This is the file. Just let us cat Docker file. Here we do have 6 attributes. All the attribute name should be in uppercase. Where from node it means that to run your React applications you require some sort of environment where operating system as well as OS needs to be, operating system as well as the middleware should be present. So, what I will be doing is I will be logging into my Docker. Somebody has already created this Docker Hub image. This is the node which has Node.js in it with the operating system Alpine. Alpine is the operating system and Node.js is the environment or server on which your application is going to be running. So, in order to just use this, what I am doing is from node, what Docker file will do is it will searches its local machine whether node image is present. If it is not, then it will get into Docker Hub and it pulls this particular image. That is what the thing what happens from this. It will pull the image from Docker Hub, which has its own operating system named Alpine, and above that at the middleware which is running, that is Node.js. And in the second attribute I am creating my own workspace where all the files are going to be copied under this workspace. Then I will be installing my Node package manager. In the fourth command I am exposing this backend on the port number 5000, and I will be running the I will be starting this particular application using npm start. These are the 6 attributes which are going to be mentioned in my Docker file. Now, how to build the image? Presently we do not have any images in our Docker. How to build an image? Sudo docker build -t. Then name of your image, as we mentioned it as RG client, it is backend, so it should be RG server. It can be named anyway. I will be naming it as backend. It does not matter. Name could be anything, but after space hit dot. What does it means? This command should build based on a Docker file which is present in the current directory. Hit enter. You can see that it is pulling an image from Docker Hub named node. Pull complete. You can see this is step 1 of 6. Let us wait till it completes all the steps. step 2, it has created its own working directory /app. Step 2, it is creating, it has created, yeah, it has exposed on port number and it has started its image. Let us see container image running in a container. No, presently not. To make that image to run in this container, I will be using the command sudo docker run -d in a detachable mode -p, the port on which it has to be exposed. I can say it as 2001:5000. And which image you want to run in the container? The name of the image is backend, as which we had created just now, the backend, successfully tagged backend. This is the image. Hit enter. Yeah. Just check it out whether that is running in a container. Yes, it has its own container ID, and the name of the image which is running in the container is backend. It is being exposed on port number 2001, and 5000 is a port which is internal. If I want to access, then I need to use 2001 port number. It is port binding concept. So let us check whether we can connect to our backend through a browser. Paste the public IP :2001/API. Hit enter. Yeah, we can see JSON file. It means that we could connect to our backend repo. Let us redirect to our front end now to convert our front end into an image. So first thing is, we have to check whether we do have Docker file. Yes, we do. It also has the same 6 attributes, but this will be exposed on port number 3000, the front end. Let us create a .env file in our front end. Yeah, I am copying this line in our front end. Yeah, I have changed. You can see that I have been given 2001. My backend is being exposed on port number 2001. So if you are exposing any other port, then you need to mention over here. Control X, Y, hit enter. Once the .env file is being done, then you can build your images. Sudo docker build -t, and the name of the image you can name it in any manner. I am naming it as front end dot after space. This time your node has been already downloaded, the image node. So it has not taken too much time. It will check its local repository. Yes, node image is already present in its local repository. So it will not again get into the Docker Hub and keep on downloading the node image, because in our previous backend itself we had downloaded our node image. We had pulled it from the Docker Hub. Once this has been done, then just run this front end image and check whether you can access your front end or not. Yes, now my image has been successfully created. If you want, you can check it through images. You can see front end image and node image and backend. Backend and front end we had created, node we had pulled it from the Docker Hub. Just run it, sudo docker run -d -p, and port on which you are going to expose is EIT:3000 is a port, and which image you want to run? You want to run the front end image. Hit enter. Just check it out whether that has been running using docker sudo docker ps. Yes, front end has been running with a container ID and it is exposed on port number 80. Let us get back to our browser, copy the public IP address, hit enter. as 80 is the default port, I need not to mention my port number. You can see, you can access your front end, you can retrieve the data just like Kent. All this data are being retrieved from the MongoDB database. You can log in, you can sign up, everything. You can sign up XYZ xyz@gmail.com 123 123, click on sign up. Sorry, email already registered with us. Okay, ABC 123. See, there is a response from your server end. This email address is already registered. XYZ. Yeah. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8. All the email addresses are registered. Sorry, I had not used the Kent. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's it from this practical. Thank you.